Hi everyone, this is David and welcome to week 2 of JWI 505, Business Communications. This week I'd like to start out with a couple of quotes if you don't mind. The first one is from Jack Welch, and he says, "How well you communicate probably determines how high you can go in an organization." Wow, guess he knows. The second one is from Travis Bradbury, who is president at Talent Smart, and he says, "No one ever became a great leader without first becoming a great communicator." So, in other words, have no doubt about the importance of what we're doing in this course week by week. Let's take a look at some of the materials and techniques that are going to help us achieve those goals. This week's focus is on written communication and the 3 basic rules of business writing. Keep it simple, keep it positive, in other words, never play the blame game, keep emotions in check, and keep it professional, which means observing the grammar and usage conventions of standard written English. Your goals for the week are to plan written communications in a strategic way, which means with a specific goal in mind. Optimize what you write for clarity and brevity. In business writing, less is almost always more. Authentically engage others by knowing your audience, then adapting your style and outcomes to them. And of course, upholding professional standards when it comes to editing and proofreading. Your experts of practice this week include Omar Ishrak, CEO of Medtronic, who emphasizes engaging your audience by knowing your audience and empathizing with them. Then, Jim McNerney, president of Boeing, is back with advice on the characteristics of successful executives. And you learn that one is courage. Courage to be yourself and to engage others authentically. Finally, Lorenzo Simonelli, president of GE Oil and Gas, talks about how he makes himself accessible on a one-to-one basis with his 43,000 employees. Talk about courage. Your weekly materials include this special PDF written just for this course on composing, organizing, and editing written messages. There are no secrets here. First and foremost, is writing the best channel for this message? Maybe it's a phone call or a walk down the hall. If writing is the best channel, then great. Next, you clarify your purpose and goal in writing. If it's not crystal clear to you, there's virtually no hope it will be for anyone else. Put this purpose at the very top of what you write in a strategy called BLUF, bottom line up front. Third, gather and verify the info you need to present and persuade others of that purpose. Then you compose your message, adapting it to your audience, what they know, what they need. And finally, polish it. Say it in as few paragraphs as possible, using lists whenever you can instead of paragraphs, and as few words as possible, editing for conciseness. Your Munter and Hamilton Chapter 3 focuses on macro issues, purpose, organization, and development, while Chapter 4 focuses on micro issues, editing and proofing. The email in real life video is your comic relief for the week, but along the way it makes some great points about the most common sins of email misuse in the workplace. Jack and Susie Welch talk about the sin of hiding behind email when you should be having a phone call or a face-to-face. Their point speaks to honesty and authenticity as a leader. You have 2 articles from the Harvard Business Review's Guide to Better Writing, the importance of knowing why you're writing, and some excellent tips on making emails more of a business tool than a business drag. For your discussion this week, you're going to invent an unhappy customer, except I bet most of you won't have to invent, and that you've had several, at least in your careers. Your task is basically to know how to respond to a customer complaint in an email. Here are my 5 tips. First, besides putting a check on your emotions, read the email in its entirety from an objective, non-defensive point of view. 2. After the salutation, your first words should always be some form of thank you. 3. Apologize for the problems they're experiencing, even if you don't want to, and even if it's their fault. 4. Explain as best you can how and why the problem happened. Last, tell what action you will take to help the customer, especially if that means some form of compensation. And remember, it's not that the customer is always right. It's that the customer is always the customer, the most treasured aspect of your business. For LinkedIn this week, you have some excellent tutorials that prepare you for posting your LinkedIn profile, which is your main goal this week. And if you haven't already, please feel free to send me a request to connect on LinkedIn if you feel it will help you. Finally, if you haven't already created your Zoom account and started practicing with the Zoom tool, this is the week to definitely get serious about it. Later in the week, I'll send out some special study materials for assignment number 1, including samples of model assignment number 1 videos from past students to help familiarize you with this assignment. Okay, there is a quick week 2 overview. As usual, don't forget to focus 100% on your honesty and your authenticity as you work your way through these assignments. And that honesty and authenticity and candor applies especially to your peer review of your 2 classmates' LinkedIn profiles. Okay, great. Remember, call me, email me, or text me if you have any question whatsoever that I can help with. Talk to you later and have a great week.